Welcome to another episode of Stack and Scale. Where on here we bring on people where we talk about business mindsets and the tools that you need to actually win. Everyone that we have on this podcast is going to be giving the game to you because they built up a business or done something in their niche or field to grow and build a successful business. Today we have two new guests, and I know who they are, but for the people who don't know who they are, could you introduce yourself to the people? Starting off with you, Fer.
So guys, my name is Ferris Abanil.
I'm Corinne. Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, so tell them just a little bit, kind of something brief about yourself before we get into the questioning.
Absolutely. So I am from Richmond, Virginia. That's where I grew up. And I run a mentorship business where I help ambitious men subconsciously rewire their mind to hit elite levels, just become their best possible version. And I believe that all starts from your mindset.
Yep. I mean, the funny thing is I kind of do the same thing. So it's basically, I was born and raised in Santa Cruz, California. I moved out here about 2 months ago. Started a business so I could fully work remote, but I do subconscious rewiring as well. Mixed in with some fitness coaching, but it's mainly coming from the mental side. So
Absolutely. I'll start off with you, Ferris. Let's talk about your adolescent years, just kind of briefly. Did you grow up in a 2-parent household?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, how was that for you?
It was great. My parents really gave me the best possible life I could ask for. And, I didn't realize how blessed I was until I got a little bit older in the real world. My father, he came to this country, the United States, when he was 18, literally nothing to his name. And like hearing that story of him coming from a third world country, Jordanian, and him building himself up, giving my family just the best possible life, that gives me all of the inspiration I need, all of the why I need towards, doing anything that I can in this world. So I'm very blessed for the parents that I have.
Absolutely. Same question for you. Did you grow up with a 2-parent household?
My parents were divorced, actually. I was raised in 2 different houses, but they made a really good effort to keep it kind of like a family in a sense. So I am blessed to have had my dad by my side, my mom, and they kind of, because I have a sister too, so they did a really good job at raising me right. It wasn't really a really intense divorce, and I'm grateful for that. So
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Sounds like you
100%.
both guys came from strong families, great fathers. So I want to go back to you real quick, Ferris. As far as growing up, how was it for you, like in elementary, middle school, and high school? How was life for you early growing up? Were you into sports, or what were you kind of into? What was your thing?
Yeah, I definitely got into sports going into middle school, just like the competitive aspect. I think as any like young man, like you want to compete at some level. Really didn't do like too much with basketball, but that's where I was kind of introduced to entrepreneurship. Started to like think outside of just what I was taught because I went through public school.
Yeah.
Just started to question like, is the traditional like 9 to 5 route truly what I want?
Yeah.
Like, do I just want to move within that realm, within the frames that they set up for us, or do I want to do something else? Like, just starting to experiment things such as my first business was reselling sneakers.
Yeah.
So it gave me like some freedom, gave me some time to, like learn sales to a degree. But yeah, just like getting myself submerged into entrepreneurship is how it's moving throughout high school.
Absolutely. I want to ask you the same thing.
Yeah, 100%. So I went to an elementary school. It was kind of like a unique elementary school, but they raised us. It was actually super cool. Half of it was like outside. We would go on hikes. It was kind of,
Nice.
it was a private school, but it taught me a lot. It was just like, it wasn't kind of like the basic public schooling. It was more of like being outside, connecting with nature. So that was really well. And then for high school, freshman year was horrible. I did not like it at all. I was experiencing a lot of anxiety. I was getting bullied at the time. I did not like it. That was kind of the turning point to why I got passionate about why I do what I do. So I homeschooled the next 3 years of high school. And again, just like Ferris said, that kind of taught me how to be an entrepreneur per se.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
You mentioned bullying briefly.
Yeah.
The last guest we had on here, we agreed that bullying for men is pretty good. It can shape you in a very positive and great way. What is your outlook on that, and how did that shape you into who you are right now?
For sure. I think that I believe that everything happens for a reason. And of course, I don't think that bullying, from the bully side is a good thing to do. I think every man should be an inspiration and a leader, not someone to throw another man down, but it could definitely grow you for sure. 100%. If you take it the right way. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So.
What was your perspective on that?
I side with that. Bullying is good, man. Yeah. I mean, obviously, once you tie emotion into it, like, of course, like, don't get your feelings hurt. But I do think it's coming out of a good place. And, like, face value, if someone's calling you fat in high school, like, I mean, maybe get in the gym. Like it's
Fix it.
yeah, do something about it, or
Yeah.
else you wouldn't get bullied. So I mean, just getting emotions tied up. I think that's how it has a negative connotation around it.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
it's a good thing.
I think even on the more extreme side of bullying, when it comes to like physically, I think bullying is great for men. I don't necessarily think it's the great for women.
Agreed.
I think for men, it builds strong men, especially if you can take the constructive criticism. You can see where you can get better in certain aspects. Like you said, if someone's calling you fat, how about you get in the gym? If we're talking about your hygiene and you stink and you're musty, maybe try out on some better deodorant or something. You know what I mean? So I think it could definitely shape you as a man. Ferris, you're 21, correct?
21, yeah.
Yeah, you just moved here to Miami just recently. Can you talk?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
9 months ago I moved.
9 months ago. What was your number one? How was life living in Virginia? I know you're from the DMV area. How did you like that growing up? And what was the transition like moving here to Miami? Would it be in a totally different lifestyle?
Yeah, so I say Virginia is a great place to grow up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like going into my story a little bit. I was in a college, Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, and I dropped out 1.5 years in because like I just didn't see any growth. I didn't see like when I truly asked myself, is this something I want to do? Like pursue a business finance degree? I couldn't continue going through with it, and it was just this battle that I played in my head 24/7. And instead of just sleepwalking through all my college years, I actually decided to do something about it, which looked like dropping out. Didn't know what I was doing in my life. I was living with my parents for a little while, still didn't know what's going on. I just went heavy on self-improvement.
Yeah.
Just heavy on self-improvement. So, I got a taste of what Miami was like when I joined a mentorship for learning the business that I run now. And there was a mastermind event in Miami that was held here. And that was like what I needed to really expand my mind. Like coming from a or not really small town, but coming from a place that like it's everything you've ever known. You can't really think too much outside the box until you actually travel outside of it.
Yeah.
So coming to Miami, it's so high energy.
Yeah.
Like everyone here is doing, well, money moves around here.
Right.
And like you start getting ideas, you start trying to do more things. And I think that is what made me move down here. It's like experiencing that high energy just for a weekend.
Absolutely. You kind of briefly talk about your upbringing when it comes to living in California. How was living in California, and why did you decide to move to Miami?
Yeah, I mean, I love California. It's a really, really beautiful place, to be honest. The people there, we kind of had like high schoolers, and then there isn't like a big college where I was from. So everyone kind of left for college, and I knew college really wasn't for me. So I was just wanting to kind of take a risk. I came here with my other buddy, Ferris knows him, about last year. And I just love the energy. Again, it's just like I believe that you become who you surround yourself with. And again, California is great, but like I talked to one of my old friends who's in college right now, and I told him I wanted to start my business. And he was like, hey, you should go take entrepreneur classes at the community college. I was like, do you learn how to ride a bike by reading about how to ride a bike, or do you hop on the bike and learn? So I was just like, I want to go run my own business, start it up, take the risk, and put a bet on myself. So this is why I'm out here. Yeah.
That is super dope. You're only 19, man, but I can tell by the way you speak.
Yeah,
Number one, you speak very well. You speak very direct.
Appreciate
and
it.
more of the active voice. Where does some of that come from? How you seem very confident. You know what I mean, and you're very sure of yourself, which is a really good thing at such a young age. What were some of your inspirations growing up, and
1000%.
what helped motivate that?
Yeah, I mean, the bullying was definitely a big turning point to me. I just wanted to feel more confident. I was like, I'm not going to let people talk me down. I'm going to, I just went super deep into self-improvement, super, super deep into self-improvement. And I will say a lot of it is from my dad as well. He's a very emotionally mature dude, and I don't really see that with many guys. And it really taught me how to be more confident and stable internally and emotionally, I'd say. So
Absolutely.
That mix fully. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm going to ask you a similar question because me and you actually met at an event. I'm not going to say where we met. You know what I mean? It might be a little too controversial, but we met outside and, we instantly kind of connected. And obviously at the event we connected on the values are very, very similar. So me and you was kind of like, it's like a brother I never met before.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What were some of your earlier inspirations to, help mold you to who you are right now?
I think watching on YouTube, a big inspiration for me was Iman Gotzi. That was an entrepreneur on YouTube. And just seeing the way that he presented himself, seeing the way that he moved throughout life, it just opened up my mind, and it allowed me to really study what entrepreneurship was like. And once I submersed myself into that field, like I just became obsessed with it, like studying the way other people talk, just trying to get as good as I possibly can. That was how I started that off.
Absolutely. You mentioned early on about getting into the sneaker business.
Yeah.
What mistakes did you make, bumping your head, and what did you learn about the sneaker business, and what made you, if you've gotten out of it yet, what made you get out of that business?
Yeah, it was something I did like for a brief amount of time. Nothing wrong with sneaker business. I think I was 16 at the time, reselling shoes, just like on the sneakers app, entering the draw for, the new Jordans dropping on Friday. It just taught me a lot about supply and demand, and resale value versus retail value, and like how people will literally pay more just because there's this value put on it because there's low quantity of the shoe. So it taught me a lot about how getting as much quantity as I can in terms like flipping these shoes to sell to other people. And it just understanding what a niche is to a degree.
Yeah.
Like understanding, certain sneaker types, like what sells best, like what kind of demographics to sell to. Like that was what I really learned about the sneaker industry.
Absolutely. You, as far as, you talk heavy about, the bullying shape, you getting heavy into self-improvement. We kind of talked about it off camera, man. You're super ripped. When did you first start getting into the gym and getting into that self-improvement? And did you do something similar to Ferris, where it came to watching content on how to become, a better speaker, fitness, etc.? What did you get into initially?
Yeah, 1,000%. It was definitely the gym, because the gym is something where you automatically are becoming 1% better every single day. If you go to the gym, you're 1% better every single day. So I just implemented some habits in my life that I knew if I show up, even if I make a mistake, even if I feel like, I'm not doing the exercise correctly, I still win. That's a win. So I believe that it was super important for me to, implement action items in my life that just make me 1% better every single day. That was drastic for my self-improvement, the gym for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who were some of your early inspirations? Was it your dad?
Yeah, I'd say it really was my dad. He always, looked out for me, and he didn't like the bullying, and he was like, hey, you should, go to the gym, do this. And he speaks around the world for colleges for life coaching. So I kind of like follow his niche in a way. So
Oh, nice.
it's
Your
cool.
dad does this?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, it's super sick.
Is that what kind of inspired you to kind of get into this? Or
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, he definitely wants me to speak as well. I have my business through Instagram and social media, but I'm definitely going to be speaking around some colleges eventually.
Absolutely.
So that's sick. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you said you told your friend about starting your business and things of that nature. What made you go ahead and say, I'm going to jump in this full-fledged? And how did you start off with this?
Yeah, I just got really passionate into, when I flipped my life around, I was like, why aren't we getting taught certain things that I implemented in my life that changed me? So I was like, I'm going to turn this into a passion. I'm going to start posting content. I'm just going to be myself, because I feel like the number one thing in life is to be yourself, because why would you want to attract people to you when you're not yourself? So I was just like, I'm going to be myself. I'm going to post content. I'm going to do what I'm passionate about. And it was literally like the easiest way to filter out the real and fake people in my life.
Yeah.
Because the real friends were like, dude, keep posting, keep doing this. And one of my buddies who was saying that, I moved in with now because he's super real. But the guys who were like, oh, it's cringe, bro, I was like, okay, cool. Now I know who's real or not. So I just want to be myself, and I think everyone should do that.
Absolutely. I think before I started posting content and stuff, I felt like everything was cringe. Like even now, I can't watch myself speak for too long. Like when I do the videos and stuff like that, I just ask, my editor or whatever, yo, was it good? He's like, yeah, it was good. Or he'll let me know, like, you need to do better with this. You need to do better with that. But it's very difficult for me to watch myself back and speak. For you as well, what made you, want to get into this niche, and what moment did you want to start your own business, and why did you pick this niche?
Specifically this niche, I like my something I find purposeful is trying to provide as much value as possible, trying to actually help people out. Yeah. How I do that is trying to help people out who were once in the shoes I was once in. And that looks like overcoming things like anxiety, things like depression, things like just mental struggles, how you just, stay stuck in your own head. It can be so, slaving to a man trying to like build himself up in this world. And, that gives me fulfillment, is actually like, putting my time and effort towards that. And that looks like posting content. So if I can affect people on a one-to-many basis, of me talking to a camera and the message spreads to thousands of people on Instagram, then that is the ROI that I think is worth.
I think that's super, super dope. Early stages of this, do you guys have like an app? How do you reach out to you guys as consumer? I'll start off with you first.
Yeah, strictly just Instagram. Instagram is a great platform. That's how me and Curran met. Is it tracks exactly who you are. So he was posting similar content to me, being in the same industry. And, that's exactly how it works with content. Speaking directly to those pain points, you would call it, being things that I once used to struggle with. And because I walked in the same exact shoes, relatability is such a good, way to start a relationship. It's like, someone sees that you overcame the thing that they're struggling with right now, then they reach out to you directly on Instagram and you start a conversation going from there.
Absolutely. Was it the same for you as well?
Yeah, same exact thing. YouTube is really good as well.
Yeah.
Super personable. You can just, I like to post really raw and authentic videos. But yeah, Instagram as well, YouTube, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned like being authentic. I think that that's one thing that's lacking. Heard a quote someone said one time where I'd rather for you to hate me for who I am than to love me for who I'm not.
I love that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
100%.
I'm gonna just be me,
100%.
and then you just, you just go off that. So where do you see yourself doing with this, And actually, before I ask you that question, because you mentioned something that I wanted to ask, but I'll start off with you.
Yeah.
You mentioned anxiety. I don't know if you suffer with any level of depression. How did you get over that? Was it the gym?
Yeah, it was.
How do you deal with that? Yeah,
it was a really, really long process. I mean, anxiety, there was a time where I literally didn't want to leave my house because it got so bad. It was mainly during the bullying, I would say. I would just always picture the worst case scenarios in my head, and I would feel certain emotions based off of something that wasn't real. It's just in my head, and anxiety was just keeping me trapped. I was genuinely scared to leave my house, and I had to tell my parents hey, I don't want to go to the grocery store because those guys might be there or something like that. So it was a long process. The gym definitely helped, but it was a lot of mental rewiring, a lot of, self-improvement in terms of, just mental rewiring, doing a lot of meditation, doing action items that help me stay present. Because when you're present, you're not in your head, but it was a long process. It was a big compound of just a lot of action items I implemented. Yeah.
Right. You mentioned the same thing, so I'm gonna ask you the same question. What helped you get over that depression, anxiety, etc.?
Yeah, I think being true to yourself and just sitting down and asking, who is it you really want to be?
Yeah.
Like pulling back all of the layers as far as the characteristics, the materialism, things that you have, who you surround yourself with, all of those things that makes the better version of you, literally describing that to the T. Because what I found is that your brain, it struggles to grasp abstract thoughts, which is why it can feel like you have so much anxiety, is because you say you want to be better. What does better mean?
Right.
So once you pull back the layers and understand what does that better version of me actually look like, then you can actually put it into practice, put it into action.
Yeah.
So that's what I saw works best for me when it comes to anxiety.
Right. So at this point right now, do you do one-on-one personal coaching with guys? So you post your content for someone who wants to, get into this and wants to do the same thing you gentlemen are doing right now, which I think is a great thing. Because again, I think one thing that's lacking with men is that we don't have a lot of strong-minded men. We don't have a lot of leaders out here. We're told to, that it's toxic to be this type of way. It's toxic to be strong. It's toxic to be a leader. It's toxic to have a certain mindset. They even shame you for going to the gym, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, It's like, I'm getting shamed for going to the gym and wanting to be ripped,
Yeah.
How have you turned this into a business to where you're actually generating revenue?
Specify what you mean by that.
I know you're posting the content and stuff, you post on YouTube and things like that, and then you do one-on-one coaching.
Correct.
For someone who wants to do that, what would you tell them, or what value would you add with them?
Right. If you have a specific if you have a specific thing that you've overcame in your life that others would actually value and want to learn from you, then that is something you can monetize right there. Yeah. If there's someone struggling with a problem and you have a solution, then you can monetize it like that.
Yeah. Do you do one-on-one coaching as well?
I do. Yeah.
I want to ask you, because you are 19.
Yeah.
So it's going to be kind of a funny question.
100%.
What are the ages of the guys that you teach or you coach?
So, I have a client right now, he's 23. Yeah, but I mean, I've attracted guys who are like 25, 27, some guys who are like 18, but yeah.
And what are you noticing in each of these guys is kind of like a common theme that you can kind of see where you can help them out? And, you know, you basically coach them in that direction. What is that one thing?
Yeah,
they just,
they just relate a lot to my story, I'd say. So it's easier for me to coach them because, you know, I am younger than some of my clients, but, you know, they trust me. Client results as well, build up some client testimonials. So, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Same question of you.
Sorry.
I mean, you are kind of young too, as far as the ages, like your demographic. Obviously, it's majority men.
Right.
But like, what is one thing, one characteristic, or one thing that you're seeing on a constant basis that you're saying, okay, this is common with men, and I can help them out in this area specifically?
Right, good question. I think it's the lack of just focus in your life, like feeling so detached from what's going on with you day to day. You know, like you want to work towards something. Like, you know, the reason why I like talking to ambitious men is because, you know, in my upbringing, I was, you know, very entrepreneur minded. Like, you know, how can I, you know, be the best possible version I can? But in college specifically, like I wasn't doing something that I actually wanted to do, being, you know, pursuing a business finance degree. So that is like, you know, talking about the specific pain points as far as like things like brain fog, anxiety, depression, like those specific things. That is like the relatability points that I can kind of pinpoint and help people out with.
Yeah. Even outside of business, how does your mindset help you in your personal relationship, whether it's with dating specifically? I want to ask you, how does that help you with that?
It definitely gives me a lot more confidence, and I would say more than anything in dating, we don't want to say that, but like someone that
we can edit it out.
Someone we both know.
That guy.
Yeah. Just having an abundant mindset about women.
Yeah.
Like I really believe that Kanye said it best, is that there is one of me and 1,000 other of these girls, and I really don't think there is like, you know, specific unique characteristics between all of these girls. So just understanding that there is abundance, and if I can build my value up as a man, be the best possible version of myself, then I will attract what I am.
Right.
So it gives me a lot of confidence.
Before I go to you, I want to ask. I want to tackle that a little bit more, because I agree with the Kanye quote as well. What makes you think that, you know, it's one of you and only 1,000? And what makes you, as a woman would say, what makes you special? What makes you unique?
I ask girls that question all the time, and it's always because I'm me, which I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means. But I mean, realistically, like, you know, having a partner by your side who is loving, who's supportive, I think that is truly a great thing as a man. Mm-hmm. But I mean, like specifying to Miami at least, like it's very, very hard to find.
Yeah, but I mean, like as far as you specifically, I know you said there's one of you and there's 1,000 of them. Right. I know, like having the one by yourself. But what makes you think stand out and makes you
as in
unique?
Myself.
Yeah, as in yourself. Yeah.
Right. I mean, the man is the primary like caretaker. Yeah. So if you're building your value up as a man, like even monetarily, like, you know, providing from a monetary aspect to your woman, right?
Yeah.
So house, bills, cars, like in that, and it takes a certain kind of man to get to that degree of finances. So, and I mean, I don't know percentages off the top of my head, but it's a very niche amount of men who can be in that position to help others out.
Yeah, I think the numbers is like 15% of all earners make over $100K a year. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's one of the numbers, and then obviously combine that with being in good shape. You know what I mean, and being over 5'9", you know, that makes that percentage go higher and higher for sure.
Yes.
So I want to ask you the same thing. Yeah. How does you know, your mindset, your life coaching and things like that, how does that help you in your personal relationships and, you know, specifically with dating?
Yeah, I think it helps a lot. I think mindset is everything. I think your mind controls your entire life. And I feel like specifically with dating, a lot of men, they don't get the results that they want just because they're putting limiting beliefs on themselves. Like, you know, you can't control your height. So if like you're gonna, you know, have a victim mindset with that you're too short so you can't attract women, you're not gonna be able to. So I think mindset with dating is super important, and it's helped me at least, you know, just find peace and fulfillment with myself, building myself up, not making a woman my whole world, but like building myself and making her a part of it if I do find the right one. So I think mindset is everything, for sure.
Do you believe in our belief of the abundance mindset?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, semi, but I definitely, I think that you know, obviously there's some women who don't know what they're talking about, but there's some women who, you know, can be wifey material.
Yeah.
I do think so, 100%.
Yeah. How do you court women? Is there certain characteristics that you look in? What are those characteristics that you look for specifically?
That I look for?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the main things, I mean, this kind of sounds funny, but I like a girl when you do something for her that says like, thank you so much, instead of like, as you should. You know, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
You hear
that's like such a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
Like such a deal breaker. Like the ones who actually respect you for what you do, who make you feel like you're like masculine and you're like, I want to do more for her.
Absolutely.
You know, that because that builds each other up instead of like, as you should, you're a man. It's like, that's, you know, it's just rude, you know, and I don't like that. So I think that even though it's funny, that's like a big deal breaker.
Yeah. I kind of already know what you look for, but I'm gonna ask you the same question. I think I know, but just because, you know, we follow the same type of content.
As in a wife?
Yeah, like, I mean, well, yes, we can say that. What would be those like wifey characteristics that you would look for specifically?
I think what's said best is that a man will look at a woman's past and a woman will look at a man's future.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm going to see what her past is like. Came from a good household, raised by, a 2-parent household. That's ideal. Like not a complete harlot, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. I think we can both, all three of us can agree that we're probably not going to find that woman here in Miami.
No.
What do you guys think?
No.
Yeah, I mean,
This guy has a different opinion.
yeah, I mean, I think that there's a possibility. I think that everything, you know, there could be a possibility with everything. I think it's, of course, limited. Yeah, for sure. But I think that there could be like one person out there who lives maybe 15 minutes away from outside the chaos. I believe in that. Yeah. Because I've seen that in my own life where I'm like, oh, I don't think that I could start this business. And I had that like belief on me and it didn't happen. And then I took action and then I rewired it. So I believe that. Yeah.
You think you can find something? What you said, 15 minutes away, like Doral or something?
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying. Oh, it's funny.
Outside of Brickell.
Doral
But
got
hey,
some gems.
Yeah, but you never know. I mean, someone could.
Is that right?
Doral got some nice ones right now. They may not. They're still kind of Miami, but there's some nice looking women out there. A little bit more low key than down here in Brickell and Wynwood area in downtown.
I can see that. There also could be a woman who moved out here to start her own business too. Just like us, you know? You never know.
Get her before the corruption.
Yeah, I mean, but still, she might be out there.
And she out here, man. She's cooked, man. she might be cooked, man. You mentioned a businesswoman. Would you want to get with a woman who's like a businesswoman who has those business characteristics?
Yeah, I don't
like
think
yourself?
that's a deal breaker. I think that it'd be cool if she runs her own business and she's like passionate about something. I believe that, the man should be a provider if the woman is giving the man the feeling of feeling masculine. So I believe that, if she starts her own business, if she's running a business, cool, good for her, but I'll eventually probably retire her. She's the one, so.
That's nice. So would you, let me ask you this because you kind of mentioned that. Would you rather her, because I mean, you have a business and stuff, right? You meet a woman, let's say she does have a business or doesn't have a business. Would you want her to like start basically like kind of working for you and like helping you out?
I mean,
do you think you would gain or she would gain some level of satisfaction that you guys are able to do that together?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, I wouldn't if she doesn't know sales, I wouldn't want her to be my high ticket sales closer coach, So I don't know. Yeah, there could be different routes for that, but I wouldn't mind it if she's like a high ticket sales girl because there's a lot of those out there. So why not? Yeah.
Yeah, nice. What about you?
Absolutely not.
Nah, I already knew what you was gonna say.
Absolutely
I knew what you was gonna say. Yeah. But I wanted to give you the opportunity to ask. No businesswoman?
No, I mean, I'm young. I'm 21. I don't really know how marriage works to a degree, but I just don't like the idea of mixing in, my partner with business. Yeah. I just don't see that working out too well.
Yeah, I could agree with that actually.
Yeah. I'm of a firm belief of, this. I don't like, I've never really lived with a woman, but I don't think I would want to live with a woman, especially right now.
Yeah.
I was dating a girl for a while and I liked only seeing her on the weekends. Because like when she would see me, she would always run up and hug me and things like that. When you spend a little bit too much time with someone, certain small characteristics start to piss you off. You know what I mean? Like I don't like the way, your socks don't go all the way in the basket or they're hanging off or something, or I don't like the way you walk or your breath stinks in the morning, or just like, it could be like simple stuff and you're just like, you're just annoying. But like when it's like you have that level of separation, is like when I see you, it's like, dang, I can't wait to actually see you again.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. I think it's more valuable.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
You say your dad is Jordanian, right?
Jordanian.
Did you grow up in a Muslim household?
I didn't. No. I grew up very American. I hope, like, at least from the way I talk, it's fairly American. No, I mean, they didn't force anything as far as religion on me. So I think that was like the best thing they could have done, because I was led to find the answers to my own questions as far as religion, as far as culture. I mean, culturally, like, my environment played a really big influence on me. So yeah, I'm blessed that they didn't really force anything on me, but
Nice.
Definitely educate me.
The content that we consume,
Okay.
the guy that we watch,
Okay.
you know, the forbidden one. How did you learn about his content, and what about that content resonated with you?
You know, a singular moment that I discovered his content was the Kirk assassination. That was, yeah, it was unfortunate, and you know, that was right when I moved to Miami. And I didn't know anything about geopolitics at all, but I was trying to expand, just my knowledge, just like what's happening in the world, and specifically moving to Miami, just like, when it comes to business, I started dealing with certain kind of people, and I wanted to be educated in that field, and our guy very much talks about those kind of people, especially in Miami.
Yeah.
So that was like what brought me into the political field, and like watching him specifically really helped me. I started with a lot of viewpoints that he has.
Okay. Yeah, that's one thing I remember when I woke up, because I used to work third shift when that happened at that time. So
Man.
I think I was waking up from like going to sleep that morning or whatever, and my guy sent me a video of it.
Yeah.
And I literally opened up my eyes, looked at my phone, and they were like, yo, this happened when I seen the video. And just to see whether you agree with the person or not, because a lot of the guys that was in the chat, it's like a basketball chat, but they seen what happened on Twitter and they sent it over to me. And a lot of them don't even agree with a lot of things he was saying, but even they could express a certain level of humility. It's like, yo, this dude just got murdered on camera in front of
his mind.
Yeah, exactly, in front of his kids or his wife. I think his wife was. I don't remember if his kids were there, but I know his wife was there.
Right.
And it's like the fact that you can celebrate anyone's death is like, to me, is like absolutely ludicrous, bro. It's like he didn't hurt anyone, like maybe with words, but it's like, really fuck your feelings, if I'm gonna be honest.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, you just kind of just speaking and saying what you believe or whatever, not hurting anybody, not, advocating for violence or anything like that. But for people to like kind of celebrate his death, I thought that was fucking crazy. I literally just seen a video of another girl saying some shit like that about him.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, that's fucking crazy. For you, he doesn't watch the guy, does he? For you, like, what, do you get into geopolitics? Do you get into any type of alternative content when it comes to, kind of like the mindset? Like, do you watch anyone like Tate or anyone like that?
Yeah, I mean, I mainly watch them for like business, I'd say. I think that politics, it's important to know about, but I think it could take a toll on your mental health if you're way too, deep with it, and you could take the focus away from your own life if you're focused on like politics too much. I think it's important, of course, because it's part of our society and everything, but yeah, not really. I found a lot of peace of mind just by chasing my own passion and living my own life and not being really too deep into it,
Yeah. You say you listen to them for more of a business sense.
Yeah.
What have you learned from them from business?
Yeah, I mean, I watch a lot of Alex Hormozy, definitely Andrew Tate with the mindset. I just, the mindset is like a huge thing. Of course, me and Ferris both do like the mental rewiring because we believe that your mind is super important, and it is. So just aligning yourself, mentally with the life that you want to live and the future you want to build is one of the best things that you can do. And of course, like they just really helped me to, be an inspiration for a leader, I'd say. Like Alex Hormozy, Andrew Tate, those guys, like just leaders, I'd say. Yeah.
Absolutely. We've talked about mindset a lot. I want to go a little bit deeper into the fitness. For you, what is your mindset going into the gym? I know for me, I've mentioned Andrew Tate. He has a clip that I listen to when I go into the gym. It kind of gets me pumped to get started off in the gym, where he talks about, he's just very, you know how he is. He's very animated, very direct. Yo, you need to get strong. You need to be, dominant in the, and it really helps me in the gym. For you, what is your mindset like going into the gym? What do you kind of listen to when you're in the gym, and what gets you going in the gym, basically? Yeah,
I mean, right now it's kind of a habit. When you do it for so long, it kind of becomes a habit. I feel weird if I don't go to the gym. It's like waking up and not brushing your teeth. You feel weird, So right now it's just like I'm always in the gym. And again, like I said earlier, it's a thing that you can go to and do and be 1% better every single day, no matter what. So I kind of just take that mindset in because it's like, if if you work on your business, you become 1% better every single day. And same with the gym. You can get stronger, you can get better. Helps with your mental and physical health. So yeah.
Yeah. Do you? I imagine you listen to a little bit of Tate as well. Do you? What helps you get motivated, or not even necessarily motivated? What helps you stay disciplined when you're going to the gym?
Discipline is a big thing, and I think for me specifically, like it's what you identify as, and I think what Curran said it best. You don't really think about brushing your teeth in the morning because you identify as someone who has good hygiene.
Yeah.
Like you don't think twice about that because that's just who you are. So if you identify as someone who goes to the gym every single day, then it's not a matter of I have to motivate myself. Like it has to get done. And I think more so the gym is kind of like it's kind of like a chance to really just work on yourself because there's no one there. Like, I mean, unless you're training for something specific, but if it's just you in the gym, like there's no one there trying to push you. No one there like saying like, hey, you got to get this kind of rep. You got to get this kind of weight. Like it's just you in the gym. So a chance to battle your own thoughts.
Absolutely. We've talked a lot about mindset, going to the gym, etc. A message. What's a message that you would give to some of the viewers watching about rewiring your mindset? Maybe have you done it, or just something that you would want to say directly to a viewer who's looking at you and saying, "Hey, I'm going through a tough time. I'm struggling mentally." What message would you give to that person if you could look to them and say something now?
Yeah, it all starts with your internal state. Like, if you want to identify as someone who is lazy, sits in bed all day, bed rots all day, then, I mean, that's the exact habits you're going to pick up. But if you want to actually, that's why I said with me when it came to actually making a switch in my life is, truly identifying who I want to be. Like, pulling back all the layers, what's my exact morning routine when I wake up? Like, what meals do I eat? What does my schedule look like? Like, all of those things that make me a better person, that is what I started off with. So it's not a matter of, having to be motivated for that or being disciplined for that. I just have to get it done. I have to do what is required.
Absolutely. I'm going to ask you the same question, boss.
100%. I would just say, if you're going through a tough time, be honest with yourself. I think a lot of men have an ego. What I've specifically seen with my clients that I'm working with now and in the past is, they just don't want to be honest that they're, struggling mentally and stuff. And it could really take a toll on their mental health, and they could live with a lot of fear and anger and sadness in their nervous system. And then that stops them secretly. They don't really know that, but that stops them, and their emotional state is all twisted from actually reaching their full potential. So I think just being honest with yourself, with where you are, is okay, and changing from that position. And just believing in yourself too.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think that's the first step that they tell you in AA. It's acceptance and number one, identifying the problem, being honest with yourself.
1000%.
Yeah. You mentioned that ego being a big thing. Is that because I remember I asked you that question earlier. Is that something that is very difficult for you to get through, or how are you able to kind of break that fourth wall with them?
With my clients?
Yeah. Do you have to, I know the approach of maybe a Tate, they're very polarizing. They kind of yell and, or the guy we know, stop being a fucking loser.
Yeah.
They'll just tell you straight up.
Yep.
You're fucking fat. You need to get in the gym. You do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Is that your way of getting through, or how do you approach?
Yeah, not really. So I really call out the loops that they're in. If people yell at you for why you're not fat or whatever, it's like, okay, why are you not in shape? I mean, not fat, not in shape. So why aren't you in shape? And I really, in my content, dive deep into the loops. And I literally, I've noticed what helps me attract the most real clients and stuff like that is just understanding the loops that they're in more than they understand it themselves. And really just understanding that and posting that content so they can really relate, because they're like, okay, obviously, guys are yelling at me through the screen, motivational videos, you're fat, you're lazy, get to work. But it's obviously they know they need to change, but why haven't they done it? So I kind of call out the loops of this may be the reason, this may be the reason, this may be the reason, and they resonate with that. So my clients, I'm super blessed to work with, every single client I can think of, and the guys that I'm working with right now, they're super just real, and they're super honest, and they're like, yeah, man, I'm struggling with this and this. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm not going to be there every day oh, it's fine where you're at. No, okay. I identify that, but then we work towards it every single day. So it's kind of like I'm holding their hand on the way, and they like that, I'd say. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm asking you the same thing. What is your approach, and how do you help these guys?
I don't really love the harsh approach. I do think calling someone directly out and being honest with them, especially from for our business, like an authoritative figure. If you have someone who's overcame a problem you're facing right now, like you're probably gonna listen to them. But I think as far as ego, like the biggest thing is just ego death. Like any man going through ego death, realizing that the more you know nothing. Like if there's a point you're at in your life right now and you want to do more, then there's something you don't know. So I think just being real with what Kern said, and subconsciously realizing why they're at that point in their life. Like what about their environment? What about their current beliefs they have right now? Because what they believe has led them to their current reality, which if they're not happy with, then what can we change about that? So I think just identifying and like being consciously aware of what's holding them back is, when you can go throughout your day and realize, okay, I'm actively self-sabotaging.
Right. I have a 3-part question for you.
Okay.
Number 1, how many clients do you currently have? 2, how many like success stories do you have, testimonials do you have?
Okay.
And the last one being, I think the hardest one, which you'll go more in depth of, I think, why should someone take up your coaching? Why should someone listen to you?
Okay. So I have 5 clients right now. Testimonial stories, guess, I don't know exactly, like between 5 and 10. Okay. And then third question.
Why should someone look to you and say, you know what, I should go to him for coaching? Like, not to, it's going to sound bad when I say it this way. Like, what would be your credentials? Why should someone come to you for life coaching instead of someone else?
I mean, I don't really care, like, sell myself to anyone. I just like to just give my own authentic story. Yeah. The things that I believe, the person that I am. And if they resonate with that, then, I care to help people out. Like, I don't care to sell anything to anyone, but if someone, it resonates with the things that I say, the things that I went through, then, I am more than happy to help them out, because that's what gives me a fulfillment.
Absolutely. You're doing it literally for the fulfillment, not necessarily. Absolutely. I think that you get the best results when it's like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like when you're doing it just because you actually want to do it, not necessarily, because I believe, especially with us doing content, et cetera, the money's going to come. Yeah. You know what I mean? Especially, you're doing the right things, you're disciplined, you're putting in the right systems, et cetera. Yeah. I think the money's going to come. But when you do it from a genuine place of really trying to add value and really help people, people are going to resonate with that more than someone just trying to sell them something. I hear a lot of times, and I don't know if you guys would agree with this, people don't like to be sold something all the time. I mean, it's like someone coming and knocking up on your door all the time. It's like, yo, buy these cookies, or I don't know, buy this insurance that we have, whatever. It's like, I don't want to necessarily be sold on something. So I definitely agree with that for sure. I'm gonna ask you the same question as far as number of clients that you currently have. Yep, 4. You said 4? Yeah, 4 right now. Nice. Yep. Testimonials? How many? Testimonials, again, I can't really, I think like 7 or 8. 7 or 8. Nice. Yeah, really good ones. Yeah. Those are from my paid ones. Because I did, I charged my, I didn't charge. It was free at first because, people aren't just going to buy like $5,000 packages right away if they don't trust you and they don't see that you can actually provide them value with results. So I started for free at first, and then I think I have like 7 or 8 of like actual guys. Yeah. And then I'm gonna ask you the same last question. Why should someone trust you, believe in you, or basically take your coaching? What separates you? Yeah, I'm kind of gonna say the same exact thing as Ferris. I'm not trying to sell to everyone. I'm just trying to be the most real and authentic guy I can be. And if you resonate with me and you want to work with me, cool. And I totally do it out of the fulfillment. I was stuck at 300 followers for 9.5 months, and I was posting 5 to 7 times every single day. Every single day. That it was like kind of crushing me in a sense. I was just like, why am I not growing? And obviously I'm not where I want to be, but I always am going to be grateful for where I am at in the present moment, and I'm still doing it. And everyone around me kind of was just like, dude, why haven't you quit? Like, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Every single person. And I was still 5-7 times every day, stuck at 300 to 360 followers for 9 months, every single day. So I just fully do it out of passion, fulfillment, and purpose, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. You mentioned that, like, just keep going through. I've struggled with that myself a couple of times with, starting a project, quitting, trying another project. Oh, it doesn't work. Let me try another one. But people respect consistency. 1,000%. I've been doing this content since January 1st. And one thing that a lot of people have been telling me is like, yo, I'll fucking love your consistency. It's like, you're posting, at one point I was literally posting 3 to 5 times a day with, some of it was just frivolous content, it's more gym stuff. and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But then I started honing more in on what I'm doing now, which is truly giving value, not just posting frivolous stuff. And then going back to the consistency thing, people asking you why you gave up or why haven't you given up yet? And it's like, it's not going to work, etc. One thing that keeps me grounded for sure is the story of Thomas Edison creating a light bulb. The fact that they say he literally failed like 1,000 times. Like he kept failing. It's like, but he tried one more time. And we got lights. I mean, we got lights in here right now. You know what I mean? Like, where would we be without these lights? 100%. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think a winner is nothing more than a loser that just tried one more time.
100%.
You know what I mean? Because some people, they'll look at it like, oh, you got lucky. It's like, you don't see how many times I fucking failed, lost money, bumped my head, hurt myself, etc. You just see the win or, whatever it is. Like some people may have blown up in a year. It's like, but you got the person next to them maybe blew up. It took them 10 years to blow up, but you still don't necessarily see the work that goes behind it. And I think any and everyone respects consistency.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah. I heard this like Alex Hormozy quote. He was like, I always take it every day in my life. He's like, figure out what you're passionate about, figure out what you want, and do so much volume that it would be unreasonable for you not to win. And that's true. Like, it's like, it sounds simple, but I'm telling you right now, so many people don't stay consistent.
Right.
Yeah.
So many people say, oh, I'm so consistent. No, they're not.
Not really.
No, they're not.
You're not
yeah.
really.
And again, like, I think that you could also be consistent with the wrong things. I always take it in a way of like, okay, if you're on a path and you have a goal, instead of just, being consistent and you're not seeing any results, just like I was not seeing any results for 9 months, if you're, let's say you're hiking and a tree falls in front of you, what are you going to do? Are you going to turn around? No, I'm going to move the log out of the way, move the tree, figure it out, and then maybe weave around the path. So that's kind of what I've done. I'm like, okay, I'm consistent, but sometimes you could be consistent at the wrong thing. So I'm going to tweak my business up a little bit and keep going on that path. Just switch it up a bit. Absolutely. And that's where I've seen the most growth, and I'm going to continue to grow.
Yeah, you just make an adjustment. It's like a play in football.
1,000%.
You make an audible.
Yeah, don't quit. Just make an adjustment. Keep going.
Another thing I listened to in the morning, I listened to it this morning actually. Les Brown, he said he played Connect Four against his son 10 times in a row, and he was like, I want to go to sleep. His son was like, nah, you can't go to sleep. He's like, why not? He was like, because it's not over till I win. You know what I mean? It's like, what if we all had that mindset? It's like, it's not over until I win. We 1,000%. Talked about your quote that's on your building, man. I fucking love that quote. What if it all goes right?
What if it does? Yeah.
You know what I mean? What if it goes wrong? What if you lose money? Man, so what? What if it all goes right though?
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So this was a very, very dope podcast. It was really nice. I got to learn you a little bit more, and you too as well, Ferris.
Yeah, man.
Any last words where they can find you? If they want to reach out for coaching or anything, they want to learn more about you, where can the people find you?
Yeah, Instagram, TikTok. I'm kind of on everything. Curren, CURREN_Pardo, PARDOE. Feel free to follow me. I'm super personable. But yeah, again, I appreciate you having me on. I will say
man,
that.
Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah,
hey, if you want to get ripped, man, talk to this guy, bro. I'm telling you, man, this dude is fucking shredded, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
What about you, Ferris? Where can the people find you? And what do you have coming up?
IG, YouTube, TikTok, Ferris Avenue, just my name. But man, it's Miami. It moves like high pace every single day. So a couple projects coming up in the future, and man, I'm just loving life in this city and trying to be my best possible self.
Yeah, I'll say one more thing to end it.
There we go.
I'll say, just a little message to the audience. I found the most fulfillment, and I've became the most happy in my life when I'm the most present, but I still work towards my goals. I feel like I see a lot of men say that they're finally going to be happy once they achieve X, Y, and Z. And then once they achieve something, then they're like, wait, I want something else. And it's just a constant chase after happiness, and then life's over, and they never enjoy the moment. So I'm not saying to sit around and just be like, oh, I don't need to chase my goals. I just need to be happy. No, work hard, but also be grateful and stay present with where you are, because that's seriously the key to like life, just being grateful. Like, even though I don't have 100 million in the bank, I'm not married, I'm not specifically where I want to be, I'm still grateful. I'm taking action every single day. I'm building my business. So yeah, I just will say, figure out what you want, work hard, but stay present and just be thankful for where you're at.
Absolutely. I love that, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah. He hang like cook with that. I was like, bro, this dude 19, bro. This dude cooking.
Hey, have to share the sauce, because it's definitely a loophole.
It's been another great episode of Stack and Scale. again, man, so appreciative to have you two gentlemen
Yeah, thank
on.
you.
You know what I mean?
Thank you, brother.
You know, probably wouldn't have met no guys like you know, in the space that you guys do when you're talking about mindset and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's one of the testaments on here is mindset for sure. So I appreciate you guys for coming on, man. Stay tuned for another episode, man.
Appreciate it,
We
guys.
out.
Said you get touchy.